Welcome to the last episode of Fundamentals of Project Management. A project is successful when it achieves its objectives and meets or exceeds the expectations of the stakeholders. But who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are individuals who either care about or have a vested interest in your project. They are the people who are actively involved with the work of the project or have something to either gain or lose as a result of the project.
Key stakeholders can make or break the success of a project. Even if all the deliverables are met and the objectives are satisfied, if your key stakeholders aren't happy, nobody's happy.
The project sponsor, generally an executive in the organization with the authority to assign resources and enforce decisions regarding the project, is a stakeholder. The customer, subcontractors, suppliers, and sometimes even the government are stakeholders. The project manager, project team members, and the managers from other departments in the organization are stakeholders as well. It's important to identify all the stakeholders in your project. Leaving out important stakeholders or their department's function and not discovering the error until well into the project could be a project killer.
As we can see, stakeholders vary in influence, expectations, and interests and all have the potential to impact the project. The project manager's goal is to leverage stakeholder relationships and build coalitions that foster project success. Warning signs that stakeholder management is suffering include missed deadlines, scope creep, confusion, conflict, and churning. Often this is indicative of competing priorities, a lack of focus, or a lack of commitment.
The goal of a successful communications approach is to manage expectations and minimize surprises. A communications planning matrix takes the stakeholder analysis and identifies each stakeholder or stakeholder group. The role they play on the project, what must be communicated, when, how, and whether a response is required. The larger your project, the more time you will spend managing stakeholders and their engagement level, and the more critical this process is to the success of your project.
Imagine a project with city and county government, the public, the Department of Transportation, police, and various and sundry other stakeholders. Do you think that you're going to spend your time looking at a schedule? No. You're going to spend your time juggling the various needs and interests of all these very influential stakeholders. During project planning, you create a stakeholder management plan that you will use and update throughout the project. Because your main method of managing expectations is communication, you will use your communication management plan as well. It would be nice to assume that everything will go smoothly and as planned, but because this never happens on projects, you also need a change log. Many change logs are based on templates or information from past projects, in other words, organizational process assets.
Communication skills are applied when managing your stakeholders. As you manage stakeholders, pay particular attention to their needs, promoting open communication and building trust. You can build trust by employing active listening. The nature of projects is that they have changes along the way. Some stakeholders will be resistant to the changes, but you have to help them overcome their resistance. You will also use conflict resolution skills.
Some interactions with stakeholders will be in one-on-one meetings. Other times, you will be speaking to a large group and making presentations. Still others will require you to communicate via report or other written methods. All these situations are considered management skills.
That will be the end of Fundamentals of Project Management.
By Micah and Alvin.
Created using Powtoon.